Okay, this is Andrew. I'm back. We're going to talk about classful addressing. What is it? Why do you need it? Well, first of all, let's go talk about addressing real quick. If you remember this model, so don't forget the Seattle to New York model and this model, because these are the things we're really doing in the big picture. So we kind of talked about this before, but why do we need an address? Because an address is like your street address, okay? Um, you may live in a particular zip code, which is going to be like, the network you're on. And then you're going to have a precise address, which may be like your IP address. Okay. So, what we need to do is figure out what the IP address is exactly. And that's where the binary numbers and the subnet is all involved and is involved in IP addressing. So, like we said, for example, if I'm on this PC and I send out a packet, if I FTP a file to other computers, well, if all five of these computers get them, and then they're all five sending frames to everyone else, and then all of these are sending to everyone, and then around the whole world, everyone's packets and are going to everyone, that would just be impossible. It would never work. So, just like the mail, we want to send this packet specifically in general to one particular host or person. Not always, but right now we'll talk about that. Okay, so when we're talking about a classful IP address, it's older, and it's not even used anymore. Okay, so why do we discuss it? Because in order to understand a classless IP address, you really need to understand classful address. Okay, so again, when we talked about the 8-bit binary numbers that went 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128. Well, for this 8 bits is actually called a byte, and 4 of those bytes makes up the IP address. And you've probably seen this on your computer. Right now, we're just looking at ones and zeros, but if you convert those to decimal, it's going to look something like this. It's going to be a number from 0 to 255, and there's going to be 4 of them. So it's going to look like this, like 192, 224, 10, 35, for example. Okay? So literally, if you just uh, I tried to set these up right, but if there's a mistake, it's not the end of the world. But let's see, 128 and 64, 192, and then you add 32 to that's 224, 8 and 2 is 10, and well, whatever. You get the idea. Okay, so anyway, that's the idea. This is an IP address. This is an address. All of these guys are going to have an IP address like this, so that you can send a file or a packet or whatever directly to that guy, and it doesn't go everywhere else. Okay, so that's the idea. Each one of these is going to get an IP address. Okay, but right now we're looking at classful IP addresses. So what is this? Okay, well, let's go down here and look. It's 192.224. So 192 to 223 dot blah 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 is a class C address. Okay, that's a class C address. There's 3 main addresses. That's a class A, which falls within this range, a class B, which falls within this range, and a class C, which falls within this range. Uh, there may be some exceptions, and we'll talk about those later, but for now, let's just think of it like this. Okay, so this is the classful IP address. We're just getting started, remember. There's always exceptions. Okay? So the classful IP addresses could look like this. So it's made up of 2 parts, the white part and the green part. This is a class A address. It falls within the ranges on the previous one. This is a class B address. Well, remember, each one of these blocks are 8 bits, which is representing a number from 0 to 255. if you convert the binary to the decimal or the decimal to the binary. So actually the green is how many bits are for the hosts, and the white is how many bits are for the network. Okay, so in this case, this first block of 8 bits is for the network, and then the rest of these blocks, 3 blocks, are for the hosts. And then this is the same. There's actually 16 bits for the network and 16 for the host. And then here you have 24 for the network and you have 8 for the host. So just remember that this is the way it's divided up, and you can't change it, okay? Not in a Classful IP address. This is the way it works. So with that, I'm going to take a break on this video and come back on the next video. Thank you.